Lake County as a whole is spending over $2.6 million a year supporting the war in Iraq. The purpose of this video is to relate the war in Iraq and how much we're spending in Lake County, kind of as like a local thing instead of U.S. as a whole. And we're going to relate it to education and what we could be spending it on, specifically as instead of $2.6 million a year, we could use that money to supply over 40,000 elementary school teachers. Lucky enough, we were able to interview an elementary school teacher and get her opinion on what she thinks about the whole U.S. and Iraq and the whole education. So, here we go.
The government and the school system provides you with the bare minimum of books and things like that in order to teach. But as a teacher, you need to add to that if you want to have extra parties or you want to do any hands-on projects or things like that, would be extra. In my day and age, we did a lot of field trips, which I think are really excellent to give some hands-on activities for the students. And the cost for field trips are prohibitive in many school districts because of the cost of busing and the cost for the field trip itself, that many families can't afford it. And I think that's such a shame that that is really lost in most school districts. Yes, definitely. Because the schools, in order to save money, have to let a lot of good teachers go before they get tenure and hire young new teachers in order to save money. And with all the changes in the educational system, I think it's really important to have the experience in higher education that those teachers would have.
Now let's look past education and look at some numbers. Since 2003, there's been 4,259 deaths over in Iraq, as well as over 31,000 troops seriously injured, with 20% of them having an injury in the brain or spinal region. Now tell me this, do you think what's being accomplished over there is worth the death toll of almost 5,000 people?
But behind those numbers are people, and those people can be anyone from our neighbors, to our family, to our friends, to our classmates. And what we need to take into consideration is the human aspect of the war, and how it affects people's mental states, as in post-traumatic stress disorder, which affects nearly 30% of all people who have served in Iraq.